Hey, how you doing? How to reduce your workload. That's the topic of today. So all you busy bees that are feeling like there's no time, there's just not enough time there's not enough hours in the day, are going to be joining me tonight to get some tips. So, let's see who's coming on before I start. Guys, it'd be really interesting because I've got a question for you all as you log in. Hey, hello again. Give me a hey when you're getting logged in. Hey gorgeous, hey Catherine. Back to board a plane, safe flight. Hey Caroline, hey Kerry, how you doing? So, let me know you're here by saying hello, but then tell me where you're from, where you're logging in from. I've got a question for those of you that are in the UK. But where are you all logging in from? Hey Eva. My question is, who's a total saddo and is from the UK and is as excited as I am right now about the fact that Love Island starts tonight? This is my guilty pleasure. You know, someone once said to me, successful people don't watch telly. Bollocks. Like, I'm sorry. I would never give up my guilty pleasures in the name of success. I wouldn't give up anything that's important to me in the name of financial success. That's why I've managed to build a business that encompasses all my life as well as my business. Because for me, success wasn't worth having if I had to sacrifice my happiness, my life, my memories, and my family. It's why I pride myself on building a freedom lifestyle, a freedom business that gives me time and actually delivers. There's so many people out there spouting this stuff. Love Island tonight, yes, some fellow saddos that are excited. I would have legitimately moved this live video and let you all down and changed the time if it meant I was going to miss Love Island. Fact, I would have done that, and I'm holding my hands up and telling you so, because I just love it. I just absolutely love it. And I think it's the sicko in me that just like loves to watch people like as a social experiment. I just think it's fascinating, especially watching us like that animalistic, that like the mating, like they're trying to mate with each other. It's just funny, it's hilarious. Always makes me want to go on a diet every year because everyone's stick thin or the men are all buff and they're all like perfect looking, and I sit watching it eating ice cream thinking, you shouldn't be eating this, you fat cow. Oh, there's so many people on it that are agreeing with me about Love Island. Okay, I won't keep chewing your ear off about it. So, how to reduce your workload, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? We can't have it all if we don't get real with ourselves about how we need to reduce some of the things that we're spending our time on so that we can have it all. It doesn't just fall in your lap. And I think that's the misconception. Like, some people will say, primal. Yes, Carly, exactly. I'm going to start looking at the comments for a little while. I'll come back to him in a minute, because I'll get distracted and I won't get anything done, and then I'd miss Love Island sat here chatting away. Can you imagine? So we have to take steps, focused steps with the right intention to have a life of balance and success. Now, this episode, I'm here every week, apart from next week, because I'm back in England next week spending time with my mother-in-law, so there won't be, episode 16 won't be next week, just so you know, it'll be the week after, but I'll advertise it how I normally do. I called this Soul-Centered Millionaire TV because I wanted to create a space that showed people that it's possible to have a successful business, great life, a life that you love, a life that lights you up, time, freedom, and all of those things, without having to sacrifice any of the things that are really important to us, like time with family, like our connection to source. I'm a deeply spiritual person. I pride myself in bringing that spirituality into my business. It's the biggest reason that I've been able to succeed in business, is because I've tapped into that part of myself that knows. A lot of the work that I do feels almost channeled sometimes. It's so spiritual. And I'm at my best and I achieve my most when I'm connected to my higher self. You might call it God, you might call it the universe, you can call it whatever you like, but you know, that part of us that always knows. It exists in all of us, and it's always nudging you. It's the part that instinctively tells you when something's not a good move and something doesn't feel right, or when you really need to go with something. It's the part that tells you when you meet someone for the first time and you're like, oh, I feel a connection, I feel like I've known this person for ages, and you know you need to pursue it. It's that part of yourself. And tonight I want to talk about reducing your workload, because I don't believe you can tap into that and live a full life if you've got a full diary that's brimming all the time and doesn't give you any room to even think, let alone quieten your mind and tap in. So tonight's about that, because last week, some of you will have seen, I did a live, no, not a live, sorry. I did a post that was prompted, just saw your big bud out. Me and you are like twins, Ruth, honestly. Hey, Amanda. So I was out in town last week, and an encounter with someone happened that prompted me to post something that then prompted me to do this live off the back of what you guys said. So I was in town and I saw a lady that I often see on a weekend when I'm out and about running errands and walking on the beach, and she stopped me and she said, oh, Michelle, congratulations, I've been following your journey on Facebook, mortgage free at 33, I'm over the moon for you, it's so inspiring. She's so lovely. And she said, I really want to chat soon, because I think you might be able to help me. She said, like, you talk a lot about freedom and stuff like that, and I've got the business and it's successful, but I've got zero life. And I know that I could work better, smarter, more productive. I know that I could run the business better, and I know I could have it all, but I just don't know where to start because I've just been doing what I've always done for so long. She went, anyway, I won't chew your ear off. I know you're really busy, but could we have a drink sometime? I was like, I'm not busy. I'm not busy at all. Like, I have a pretty chilled life, and actually if I start to feel busy, then that's a sure sign for me that I'm doing something wrong, and I need to assess my priorities, and I need to assess the way I'm doing things, or how much of certain things that I'm doing, and that's my sign to rein it in. But you know, generally I don't feel busy at all, so yeah, let's have a chat, let's schedule something in, and let's do it. I've always got time for people like you that want help. My reaction threw her, and she was like, and you could almost see in her eyes that that's not the norm, is it? People spurt it so quickly, don't they? Oh, how's your week been? Yeah, busy. It's like busy's a badge of honour that we wear with pride, because if we're busy, we're on the way to success, or we're more successful. Like, busy earns us more respect. Busy makes us more deserving. Busy makes us more, I guess, more certain that we're doing the right things. Because if we feel like we're busy, then surely we're on our way to something special. It's bollocks. It's bollocks. It's old paradigms, old beliefs, things that don't have to be your truth. But when I saw this woman's face, I could see that it was her truth, and I just challenged her belief that success meant busy. Because me going, no, I'm not busy at all, you could see her almost like confused by it. There was that flicker of, is she a wizard? Maybe she's a witch. And it was a really funny moment, which prompted me to post on social media that I'm not busy. And I listed all the people in, Carly, that makes me so happy to hear that. I listed all the people in my team that mean that I don't have to feel busy, because I've got used to being the outsourcing queen and leading a team of people, and these are all the people. So I listed off the Facebook manager, the Instagram manager, the LinkedIn manager, the marketing team, the sales team, and all of these gorgeous people that are like my fairies that I have around me, and I love them so much. But something came after that, lots of messages, and there was a trend. Michelle, I can't achieve what you're achieving because I don't have the money for outsourcing. What do you do, Michelle, when your budget's tight and you can't have all these people in your team? And I get it. And the truth is, I haven't had all these people in my team forever either, have I? Like, I started at the beginning like you too, if that's where you're at. I started in the same place, we all do. I didn't have a big budget when I started out in business. In fact, I've been on my arse financially. Michelle Stonhill, oh yes, Michelle Stonhill Fairy that I could not do without right there. I've been on my arse financially. I know what it feels like to struggle, and I don't forget that easily. Like, I understand that when you're first starting out and maybe you've got a job and kids and the gym and dogs to walk and dinner to cook and then a business to run, and you're just about living to the wire financially as it is, so you can't start hiring all these fairies to do everything for you, so there's just you, and it feels like your only option is to be busy, out of balance, stressed. And you start telling yourself, I'll rein it in when. I'll rein it in when I earn this amount of money. I'll rein it in when I can quit my job. I'll work less when. And all that stuff might be marginally true, because yes, you're gonna have more time when you can quit the job. Yes, you're gonna have a bigger budget to outsource when you earn a certain amount, but the rest is bullshit, because actually, unless you start acting as if now, and you start taking some steps now to fix the situation, you will always just be busy. You'll just have more money and you'll be busy, and you'll have more time and you'll fill it. Trust me, I know, because I've done it. I can remember thinking, Jesus Christ, how did I even go to the job before, when I first went full-time as an entrepreneur? Because I don't have any time to even wipe my own ass now, and I don't have a job. But this was meant to be the dream. I was meant to leave the job and everything was meant to fall into place, and I was meant to live the laptop lifestyle and everything was meant to be easy, and it wasn't. Because you have more time, you fill it. It's like wardrobe space. Have more of it, buy more clothes. It's exactly the same. So here are my 5 steps to streamlining things, reducing your workload really, really quickly, like instantly, without spending any money at all, or at least very little. Okay, number 1, 5 things here. Here's number 1. So I've got 5 things, then I've got a commonly asked question, and then I've got a watch out. So if you want to make notes, now's the good time to grab a pen. Someone once told me you should have expensive pens because it's bad for your brand if you've got a Bic. I fucking love a Bic. I binned that advice, threw away all my Parker pens and just went back to the pen that I love because I love it. Do you? Number 1, write a strip back and eliminate list. This is number 1. Now I do this quarterly. I set goals quarterly. I review my progress quarterly. I do everything in quarters because it's a business, so it's right to do everything in quarters and project for the next quarter and review how the last quarter was. Another thing that I do quarterly is love a Bic. Some of the Bic fans. So good to know. I've definitely got my tribe here, haven't I? The other thing I do quarterly is I start looking at what do I need to strip back and what do I need to eliminate. How busy have I felt over the last quarter? How imbalanced have I felt? How calm have I felt? How much have I enjoyed my work? Because the first sign of being overworked is that the joy starts to go out of it. So I sit and I think, what can I eliminate from my life, or what can I strip back right now that's totally unnecessary? And I get really, really honest with myself. Because I'll give you some examples. I used to insist, when I first started out as a female entrepreneur, busy, life, all of that stuff going on, I was still a woman. I'm a female entrepreneur like you. We're still women. We still have our like little needs, don't we? And one of my needs, cleaning the house. I think it's the feminine part of me that just likes to clean the house. And it was like a job well done when I'd done it. I'd done my woman bit. You know, I'd done my part. I stepped into my feminine and I'd looked after the house, and it gave me a lot of satisfaction. I enjoyed it. I know many people don't, but I do. I'm a bit weird like that. I get a lot of satisfaction from it. I find it quite therapeutic, and I love to keep a clean home. I like that. It makes me feel good. If I wake up in the morning, my house is messy or dirty, it messes with my head. Messy house, messy head. So I really resisted outsourcing it or not doing as much of it on every level. And I didn't have the privilege to be fucking picky, let me just add. I mean, I was flat broke, had 0 time, trying to get a business off the ground, scared of everything. Everything was taking longer, because it does in the early days, doesn't it? If you're in a brand new business, maybe you're just starting out and you're learning the ropes. Even if you've been in business before, but you've just switched to digital or whatever it might be, you're getting your head around funnels and digital marketing and all that lovely stuff. everything's taking 1,000 times longer than it will do in 6 months, a year when you're a master and a pro. And I was in that stage of my business, so really I didn't have the privilege of going, no, I'm going to keep cleaning my house. So like 3 or 4 hours a week I spent cleaning the toilets, doing all that lovely stuff. And whenever I challenged myself on it, I resisted it. No one else challenged me. No one else said, Michelle, you shouldn't be doing that. But I challenged myself every now and then, and I'd hear like whispers of other people giving me advice that, you know, cleaning your house isn't growing your business. Don't moan that you've got no time when you're doing that. But I was like, what's the alternative? I hire a cleaner. They never do a good job. I'd sacked millions of cleaners in the past. Or I clean less and then the house gets dirty, and that gave me hives just thinking about it. So I resisted it and resisted it and resisted it. Now here's the thing, when I just let it go and I was like, okay, there is a way around this, there is a solution, and here's the solution. Every other week I'm gonna get a cleaner in, and she's gonna do the real like dirty jobs, the bits that I don't wanna do. She's gonna clean the fridge out, she's gonna clean the cooker, she's gonna do the bits that I don't necessarily love doing and that I'm happy to delegate to her. And I'm not getting a cleaner every week, it's 2 hours every 2 weeks. So it worked out to about, I think it was 15 an hour, so it was like 30 quid every 2 weeks, 60 quid a month. It doesn't take you much. Don't tell me you haven't got a budget for some outsourcing. You have, you're just choosing to prioritise it elsewhere. Or you can up level your income really fast by selling something tomorrow and making it happen. Even if it's something out of your cupboard that you've not used for ages that you whack on eBay, like, you can make it happen. Don't say you can't. So I made it happen, and I was like, okay, every other week I'm going to use a percentage of the budget and I'm going to put it into a cleaner. And then I drawed on help. So I was like, James, I'm not doing all the cleaning anymore on my own. You're going to have to pull your weight. So, and he likes to clean, but I was a control freak. He never said he wouldn't do it, but I was just like, no, I'll take care of it because I know it's done right. So I loosened the reins just a little bit, stopped being so controlling, and freed up 2 or 3 hours a week by doing that. Straight away, 2 or 3 hours a week extra that I could be doing something productive on my business, or taking some well-deserved downtime, because the more downtime you have, the more relaxed your mind is, the more inspired you become, the more creative you become. Don't underestimate your downtime, it's just as important as your go time. I also quit ironing around this time as well. I was like, fuck ironing, I'm doing it every Sunday night, 3 hours, just ironing clothes and hanging them in the wardrobe. And 9 times out of 10, when they came out the wardrobe again, or out the drawers after being crammed in, they needed a little bit of an iron again. So I was literally just hemorrhaging time on ironing clothes. It's totally unnecessary. And a bit of a nice to do when you're an entrepreneur running a business and with a job and and just starting out. So I just stopped ironing. And still to this day, it's stuck. I just iron as I go. I did have an ironing lady for a while, but she kept bringing the clothes back creased, and that stressed me out more than ironing it myself as I go. So now I just haven't ironed in 6 years. High five. I'm not saying these are the things you should do, but this was just my eliminate list, just an example. That freed up 2 or 3 hours a week for me. Fuck that, never do it. So many women like me. I haven't ironed for 6 years either. Amazing. It's like so many people gave up ironing around 6 years ago. What happened? But the other things I did was, like, I cut out, like, I used to go and get my nails done at the salon. And this was very recent, a very recent change. One of the things that's a non-negotiable for me, I actually set it as a goal when I was a broke, struggling entrepreneur, that I wanted to be able to get a manicure every 2 weeks, because when I look down at my nails, it makes me feel good. When they're good, I feel better. But it became a chore. Like, every other Saturday, I'd got to go drive 45 minutes into town, be in the salon for an hour, drive 45 minutes back. It was starting to become like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I would much rather sit on the beach or just not have to be somewhere. So many people that don't iron, I love you. Yeah, so I started to just think, well, this has become a chore. So now what I do instead is I bought some nail polish and I just do it when I'm watching TV. Like Love Island tonight would be a great time. I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I haven't got to give up my Saturday to drive to the salon, drive back and lose half a day. Just do it myself. They might not be as perfect as when they do it, but it's all right. Like anything, you get better the more you do it, and I don't mind doing it. So that cut out a couple of hours every couple of weeks, and say an hour or 2 a week. And then there's your work stuff, like what do you just not need to do that you keep insisting on doing? I used to plan my social media content weekly. I used to sit and plan it all out for the week, think about what I was going to share, how I was going to share it, what my light bulbs have been, what do I want my audience to know, how do I want to help them this week, and I'd spend hours doing it, 3 hours a week to be precise, every week, every Monday. And then I suddenly realised I could do 2 weeks worth in pretty much the same amount of time. And the reason is, when you're in that zone, that creative zone, and you've got 3 hours and you're like, right, I've got 2 weeks worth of social media to plan in this 3 hours, and I'm in a zone and I'm doing one task and it's total focus, I managed to get 2 weeks worth done in the same 3 hours. Because you're inspired, you're in that zone. Whereas I was having to every week get in the zone. I'd give myself 3 hours for 1 week, so I was filling it, and I might get up and have a coffee. But now it was like 3 hours for 2 weeks worth, and I just shaved off another 3 weeks, another 3 hours a week. So I've just saved, what have I saved, about 15 hours there, just by going through some really simple things that didn't cost me a penny. In fact, it saved me money because like the nails, so much cheaper. And suddenly I've got an extra 10 to 15 hours to do something with. So the next step for you from point 1 is sit down quietly after this at some point. It doesn't have to be tonight, especially if you're in the UK and you're watching Love Island. Sit down and just write your strip back and eliminate list. What can I just stop doing completely that just isn't serving me, or at least put on the back burner for a while? And what can I strip back and do less of to free up a little bit more time? Number 2, batch tasks. Oh my God, batching has been a productivity ninja for me. I used to resist batching because I just didn't think it was for me. I was like, no, I don't want to spend, for example, batching might be batching all my content together. So if I've got to record videos for a program that I'm running on a monthly basis, then I could do 12 videos in a day, and then that's a year's worth of content created. And I hated it because I was like, no, I'm very intuitive. I work on inspiration. I like to go with what feels right that day when I'm creating content. I don't want to be told I've got to create 12 months today, because what if I'm not feeling it creativity wise that day? Like, I would need more flexibility in my routine than that. So I just resisted batching completely. But I missed a trick, because you can batch and still be inspired and still do things when the wind takes you, but it just means that you're getting super organised with where your time's going. So what I now do is I'll have a content creation day that's dedicated to certain things that I need to do, and it all gets done on one day. So it might be training bundles that I've got to produce for a program, it might be something else, like it's all just creation. And then I might have a day that's dedicated to sales, so that day is all about selling, and then another day is all about my team and having back-to-back progress review meetings with my team and checking in with them, and then that's done for the next 3 months. Rather than going, I've got team meetings at 10 o'clock on Monday, 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and splitting your focus and splitting your mind just takes away that edge productivity wise, where you've just got sole days or blocks of time. It doesn't have to be whole days if you can't have whole days, but blocks of time that are focused on one thing and getting like a week or a month's worth of stuff done in one go. Life changing, it doesn't cost a penny. Number 3, get free help. Free help is everywhere when we ask for it, but we're women, aren't we? So we like to say, I've got this. We like to think that asking for help's weak, or that we can just take care of it and we don't need help. And I know, I get that, but you do, and there's nothing wrong with asking for it. And when we just allow ourselves to be supported a little bit by other people, energetically we free ourselves up so much, and it's a form of self-love to ask for help. We don't have to just take it all ourselves, and there's so many people we could be drawing for the help on. So people like our friends and family, for example, how can they help us more? Because I'm guessing if you're like me, you're not just in business for you, you're in business for them more than you are you, for the life that you want to give them, for the memories that you want to share with them, for the things you want to treat them with. For it's never just been about you, you know, you're doing it for them too. So being able to say to the husband, for example, could you help me buy, like I'm really blessed with a tech geek for a husband, he's amazing. So I was able to delegate for free in the beginning all of the tech stuff that I didn't want to do because I don't love it, to James, which is brilliant, and it didn't cost anything. But your partner might not be very tech savvy, that's okay, but what are his strengths or her strengths? Who do you have in your life that love you and will help you for free in the beginning if there's no budget there, that have strengths that you don't have? Maybe it could turn into paid work in the future, but just sitting down and going, who do I know and how can they help? And just opening our mind to the possibility that there might be people around us that might be willing to help us and like to help us and take pleasure from it and potentially end up with a job at the end of it if they want one. Or even if it's just short term until you can hire someone. And start asking that question. It might not just be in your business, it might be saying to your husband, you know what, I'm not filling the dishwasher every single day anymore. Can you do it? Can you take that job? The little things that you think won't make a difference make huge amounts of difference. It's about streamlining our life. And I'm always looking at everything now, thinking of time saving, whether it's my life or whether it's business. I'm thinking, is this the best use of my time? How can I eliminate it, pull it back, or delegate it out? And sometimes now that's paid. Sometimes it's totally free by just saying, James, do you know what? Like, one of the jobs I hate is taking out the bins. And our bins here in Spain are like really far away. You have to take them out and walk all the way up to the... So I'm like, James, I'm not doing that anymore. Can you do that, please? I hate doing it. It'll really help me. So now he does that. And it's just a little thing, but it's not just doing it and the time it takes doing it. It's that feeling that's associated with doing it. And another reason that you can get help for free is skill swap, which Laura literally just took the words out of my mouth. You can swap your skills with somebody else's that maybe is just starting out too. Maybe it's another entrepreneur. Maybe you hate writing copy, but you're really good at branding, images. And you might get together with a copywriter who's just starting out that will, for a skill swap, hey Laura, you can do their brand and they'll write your copy. And you have that agreement for say 3 months, and then you review it and see if it's still working out for both of you, or whether things have evolved and it's no longer working out, in which case you can skill swap with someone else, or chances are good it now becomes a paid thing if you love the service because they're happy to pay you and you're happy to pay them. And things have improved business-wise by then. So I'd say have a review on it. It's not just skill swap forever, because you know you always want terms with things. That's a great way to get some free help. Number 4, have really, really clear boundaries and protect your business. You have to. For people to respect your business, you have to respect it first. For people to respect your time, as a massive lizard, you have to respect it first. Because you teach people what's acceptable by how you treat things. And that's true for your business in terms of saving your time and reducing your workload. You know, it's really funny, when I was employed, I worked in supermarkets, I was a retail manager, and nobody ever said to me, Michelle, I know you're at work. None of my friends and family would ring me and go, Michelle, I know you're at work, but can you leave work, please, and come for lunch because I need to talk to you? Or, hey, I know you're at work, but could you leave early tonight and do the dinner because I'm running late? No one would ever expect that of me. But suddenly, entrepreneur, working from home, and these things start happening. People expect you to drop everything. People don't think it's important, or that you don't have set times or disciplines that you have to do things. You got to teach them that. And the way I taught people was by setting my own working hours. And you might think, well, I didn't become an entrepreneur to set working hours and be disciplined and regimental, but you're running a business. You're running a business, and a business needs structure for it to grow. So you need to be structured. So you need to know, when you look at your week, when is it business time? When am I working on my business? What hours, and what am I doing in those hours? And if the phone rings and it's a friend that's having a meltdown because they're having a crisis and you're at work, because it's work time, when you look at your diary, then it would be the same as if you were answering at work. Is everything all right? I'm really sorry. I'll call you back. I'll finish at 5, okay? See, if it's really bad, then you're going to take the call just like you would at work. It's a crisis. But what I'm saying is, treat it like you did employment, because your business will only grow the way the business did that you were working for before if you treat it that way. You just have to treat it that way. And it can be difficult at first, because you can find yourself saying yes to things or feeling bad for saying no to things, because you could technically move things, but you could technically move things all the time, and then you'd get nothing done and your business would never thrive. So you kind of got to be the best employee and the worst boss you've ever had rolled into one when you work for yourself, and you've got to be disciplined. So useful phrases are like, yeah, I finish at 5 on Tuesday, so I could maybe meet you about 6. Or, sorry, I can't pick up the laundry on Friday because I don't get out till 5 and it'll be closed. And sometimes at the beginning you'll get challenged by that. What do you mean you're working till 10 o'clock, but you're at home, you can pop out? No, I'm working 6 till 10, I'm back to back, really, really full to-do list, so no, that won't be possible, sorry. And if you've got a home office and there's kids and husbands and everything running around that constantly pull at your attention, you could even have like a sign on the door, and I've seen some of my friends do this really well, where it tells them when there's meetings in progress and when it's acceptable for them to knock. It's an office, you know? So the boundaries need to be there, and you'll find that your workload massively decreases when you really start to get serious about those boundaries. And the last and final point is create cash flow and reinvest it. I keep saying this a lot, it's a business, because the reason I keep saying it a lot is because sometimes when you start out as a solopreneur and there's just you and a laptop or a mobile phone at home, logic can just escape you. Logic can just leave your brain. Everything you know to be true about business and making a success of it seems to not apply anymore, because I'm this solopreneur with a laptop and a phone, and I can just work from anywhere, even in my bikini with my shades on. But it doesn't matter, it's still a business. And it's the same when it comes to your cash flow and speculating to accumulate in your business. I told myself for a long time that I didn't have a budget to outsource. It was bullshit. I had my priorities wrong. The same girl that didn't have a budget to outsource was eating pizza, takeaway pizza on a Saturday night, or having a Chinese on a Sunday because I couldn't be asked to cook, or buying a new top on a Monday afternoon shopping spree, when actually that money could have been spent on outsourcing so I can get my business to the next level. You really do have to speculate to accumulate. The money that comes into your business, don't see it as yours, see it as the business's that pays you an income. Because money that just comes in and that then gets put in the back pocket as income straight away, the boundaries become too blurred between business profit and income, because they're two different things. The business profit comes first. You look at it and you go, okay, I've made this much profit this month. And you might look at it and go, well, it's not profit because I've invested for the last year in this business. It's all mine. I need to take it back. Okay, but do you want to take it all back and spend it on stuff as an income, or do you want to take a percentage and reinvest it back into the business to free you up to do more and get to the next level? Because really, that is the only way to keep growing. Because otherwise you reach this bubble where you get busier, and then you get to this point where outsourcing becomes impossible, or at least outsourcing effectively becomes impossible, because you can't just hire someone, do that. You might be able to for cleaning and stuff, but you can't just hire someone to do really important tasks in your business with no level of training or review in place, or monitoring their progress and supporting them, and like some sort of induction process. But when you're in the bubble and it's stretched to fuck, and you like can't even go to the toilet without your mind whizzing about what you've got to do next, and you're in the shower thinking about work and every second's accounted for, when you let yourself get to that place, how are you going to hire someone, train them effectively? You don't have time. You're too busy doing all this other stuff, working in the business, not on the business. It has to happen gradually. You don't just wake up one morning and go, bah, and there it is, my team of 20. That was a bloody fabulous month. I just expanded really fast. It doesn't happen like that. It's gradual. It's, okay, I've now got this budget because I've decided that 25% every single month is going to get to outsourcing. So month one, I've got a tenner. There's an hour's worth of cleaning. Month two, I've got 25 quid. There's an hour's worth of cleaning, and the gardener can come in because that garden's pissing me off. Month three, I've now got enough for a copywriter. Month four, brilliant, I'm hiring my first VA. Top tip, you need to know what the structure of your business looks like before the structure of your business appears. One of the commonly asked questions that I'm going to go into now is, what do I outsource first? I get asked this all the time, and with the most respect, I don't fucking know, because it's your business. And this is the first indication to me that there isn't a vision for that structure in the beginning. So what I mean by that is, it's like having a flow chart of the people that are in your business in the future, in the big vision. What are all the positions that are going to be available within your company? You are the CEO. Underneath you are all these people that do all these roles in the future. What are all of these roles? You might go, okay, and this is a great way to start this. Get a big piece of paper, put you at the top, and then put all the key things that have to happen in your business for it to run successfully now and in the future. So you might say marketing, you might say tech, you might say sales, you might say whatever. Think about your business. And then you've got under marketing, you might say, well, what goes under marketing? Well, Facebook advertising, I need a Facebook ad specialist. Instagram, I need an Instagram manager. Facebook, I need a Facebook manager. You start plotting out all of these roles, and before you know it, this structure begins to appear. Another quadrant might be customer care. So I need a customer care manager, and underneath that she might have some assistants. I need an admin team, VAs, and you end up with this big diagram with all these roles. And the good news is you're the one doing all of them in the beginning, and that's why you probably feel more stretched in the beginning than you ever do. But you don't want to stay there. You don't want to stay in that position doing all of them. But knowing what they look like helps your business to grow much smoother, because in month 3, 4 from launch, when the budget starts to appear for you to outsource, you can look at this table and go, what do I hate? What really drains my time, energy and sanity doing? There's the first person I'm hiring. And then suddenly that role has a name under it, and we've got your first person, and it's really specific what they're doing. They know what the role is, you know what the role is, you know how to teach them how to do it because you've been doing it, and they can get on and do that piece. And then when the budget increases, another piece of the puzzle appears. Another circle on this brain map has got a name next to it, until the business is totally leveraged and every part of that flowchart has a name next to it. It might evolve. I'm getting attacked by mosquitoes. It might evolve over time, and you might add people to it, take people away. That's okay, but you need to know the bones of the structure, because that question, who do you hire first? I don't know. It depends on the structure of your business and the big vision for where it's going when it's totally leveraged, and the things that you hate the most, etc. Watch out. Don't hire out too soon. If you hire out too soon, that's abdication, not delegation. And when I say too soon, what I don't mean is I hate tech, I'm no good at creativity. That might be your story. I'm not very creative. I'm not going to design my own website. I'm just going to hire it out. Fine, no problem. That's not a key operational part of your business on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. It's a one-off thing that needs doing. Outsource it, no problem. If you've got the money to do it, do it. But what about, I hate sales funnels, so I don't want to do them? Not okay, because you might hate them, and it's okay to not do them in the long run, but you got to learn how, you got to learn what good looks like, you got to know how to get a high converting one, because this is something that's operationally a fundamental part of your success. If you can't hold somebody accountable to do it well, you abdicate responsibility for it. It's like the blind leading the blind. No one wants to take responsibility for it. When you look at that flow chart, there's a name in there, but you at the top, the CEO, can't lead, manage or coach that person because they know that job better than you do. Whether they do it well will depend on how they feel, not how well you lead them as the leader of that business, because you don't know what you don't know. So you've got to learn key things in your business before you outsource it. I see people doing this all the time. I don't know how to do Facebook ads, so just hire this Facebook person that's going to run my ads for me and make me loads of money. He's not, they won't. It will never happen. No one will care about your business as much as you do, and when that Facebook ad doesn't work and you want to blame him, he's not going to want to take responsibility for that. And he can tell you all the reasons why it's not working, and you won't know whether it's true or not because you don't know. So that's abdication, not delegation. So just to recap, how to reduce your workload literally this week with no money being spent at all. Number 1, eliminate and strip back, write your list. Number 2, batch tasks. What can you batch? Write down a list of the things that you can start batching right away. Number 3, get free help, family members, skill swap. Number 4, have clear boundaries and protect them fiercely. Number 5, create cash flow and have percentages that you're going to reinvest into outsourcing, but know what the structure looks like of your business before you begin to outsource. And watch out, don't abdicate and call it delegate. And that's me. 20 to 9, 20 minutes before Love Island, and getting chewed up by mosquitoes, so I'm going. Thanks for tuning in. Love you all.